Let's do a little experiment. I want you to think for a moment and try to describe yourself to define who you are. I will use my example to help you. If I was to answer the question who I was, it would be something like this. I am Peter, I'm a man, I'm 41, I'm a YouTuber, I'm tall, I'm caring and impatient. If these are the criteria that are supposed to identify me, let's look closely at what they mean. My name is a sound that was assigned to my person at birth. My sex does not define what I think, as the thoughts of a woman will be exactly the same if written down on a paper anonymously. My biological age in reality is only determined by my environment, and the choice of my lifestyle, and relatively means nothing. My occupation changes frequently throughout my life and usually has very little to do with my personality, and the adjectives I use to describe myself actually represent the actions I decide to take in my everyday life. None of these above define the real me. Now let's try a second experiment, one that I asked you to do many times before. Like you would do in meditation, sit down and try to switch off your active thinking, observing what's happening inside your head. Most likely it will be very difficult or even impossible, and what you will end up with is a realization that although it's not that easy to stop them, you can easily observe your own thoughts. And this will be an incredibly important step in defining your true self, because if you're observing your thoughts, that means there is something or someone inside of you generating them. That would indicate observing the one who is thinking, and that implies the presence of two separate entities inside of you. If there is one that thinks and one that observes, which one are you? Let's go further. When you speak, who is the one that chooses the words? When you get angry, who's the one who experiences these emotions? Are you in reality responsible for any of your actions? What or who are you? In this video, I will show you the reason for this strange split personality disorder inside of you. I'll describe both of these people, and I will discuss which one you should decide to nourish to have a healthy and conscious life. If you get to the bottom of your identity and you find their generosity and gratitude, please support this channel and the community through methods listed on the screen or at b434.com. You can additionally schedule a chat with me or buy merchandise. All links in the video description. Thank you very much for all your help. What I'm going to describe here is what I learned through psychedelic insight, but as it turns out, searching for your true self is the foundation of most spiritual teachings and some religions. It's an important question that all of us should be asking ourselves. A psychoactive substance will allow you to separate these two forms inside of you, and it will remove the sense of the physical self, also called the ego, to show you your true form. And what you will discover is that inside of you, there is a higher self observing that which so desperately tries to be the director of your earthly life. You will discover that who you falsely think you are is actually a result of what your body wants. Constant quest for pleasure and avoiding pain. You will learn that it is a part of you that is also created by trying to fit into social structures. Effectively, you imagine an illusion of your physical self based on your bodily conditions and your environment, and you let this illusion define you and control your life. And because that physical you always aims to be the director of your reality, it is the source of all your frustration. Since your fake ego form is maintained by external energy, it needs to be nurtured, maintained, and protected from falling apart. When you're artificially limited to that one form, you need to defend it from all internal and external alteration processes and from all other ego-driven forms in society. What's involved are constant conflicts, competition, enormous energy expenditure, and all the consequences of living a lie of fake ideology. Your fake self exists only for as long as you feed it energy by associating it with your body and its connection to the material surroundings. As long as you believe you're located inside your physical vessel, your existence will always be defined by what is happening outside of you. What is the real you? That which exists independently. Everything that depends on the presence of other elements is not real. Everything that has to anchor its existence in something external is not real. Everything that is not continuous is not real. Everything that is temporary and changing is also not real. Everything that requires effort to sustain is not real. All that falls under these categories is a projection of your true self. Who you really are is beyond your body, thoughts, and emotions. It can be defined as your remote higher self that is silently observing the actions of the physical human body. Your true form is independent of your ego, and that's how you know which is the real you. You don't really pay attention to your true self. It is mostly ignored and long forgotten. Yet identifying and isolating the true self is the only path to awakening, spiritual development, emotional balance, and fulfilled life. What you will discover is that the higher self has powerful messages for you that can change your life. You will find out that one of them will be that you're a part of collective consciousness. Everything that others go through and do is a manifestation of what you are too. The real you is the one, the energy that creates all around you. Once you look at everything from the perspective of the source, you will see that nothing is separate. Once you see that nothing is separate from you, that's when you'll know what is real. Your self is not better or worse than the other selves. It is all a matter of different conditioning, and you would be the exact same person in similar circumstances. It is all a part of the real you, and the real you is a part of it all. It is all a part of the same creation. The understanding of what you truly are will affect your understanding of what this world is, as it is the manifestation and embodiment of the energy interacting with itself through individual micro-projections. The true self is not bound to time and space. When you get deep down there, you will feel its eternal nature. It is not your problematic world. It is a movie you get to watch and learn valuable lessons from. It is like observing a video game character. That true self is the one that treats others with love and respect. It is the one that knows how to find joy and pleasure in this earthly existence. And it is the one that can have faith in the power of the metaphysical and lets that hopeful mindset become your everyday norm. That true self doesn't need to be improved, fixed, or maintained. It has no insecurities, no self-guilt, no dark side. It just is. Once you discover its true nature and once you decide to incorporate it into your life, you will see your true self, which in turn will change the way you interact with your surroundings and yourself. It might also reveal your life's true purpose to you. So how to separate these two selves and how to remove the ego-driven one? It seems difficult at first because once you extract your true self from your consciousness, you will experience an unusual depersonalized state of mind that might be very difficult to get used to at first. You can initiate this process by taking a step back and looking at your life from an observer's perspective. Watch the things that happen to you instead of trying to control them. The idea is not to deny or withhold your emotions, as it only makes them stronger, but to accept them and observe the one who is experiencing them. Now look at your past and your problems. Are they your problems or your egos? Separate your body's issues from what you truly are. Start paying attention to how these two are two separate things. The way to look at things is through the lens of your true self, not by attributing a false sense of self to external elements of your physical existence and your ego. Ironically, you become your real self by rejecting your illusionary separation-causing individuality. You make your fake self disappear by noticing it, challenging it, and removing the connection between your external associations and that ego. It is not about creating a new persona, but about revealing the one that you already are and always have been. Once you reach that place of self-acceptance and love for others, you will know that that's where you're hidden, as finding your true self is the antidote to loneliness and unhappiness. Now that you know you're not Jake, you're not a sales manager, and that you are not spontaneous or some other adjective, you can finally ask yourself who you really are by trying to eliminate all that is temporary or dependent on something outside of you. The real you doesn't experience pain, fear, or anger. It is eternal and immune to suffering. Connect with it as often as possible and you will find fulfillment in peace and contact with it. You're only observing the physical while you're performing the planned actions and following the creator's script. You always have the power to step out of this performance and choose a different one, as long as it serves the purpose of protecting the safety and integrity of the vessel that you temporarily occupy. Your higher self is the divine. Through discovering yourself, you discover the energy. Recognizing your true self is how you change others, And it might be actually the most beneficial thing you can do to help the world. Not by imposing your will on others, but by becoming an example and a replicable inspiration. Remember, you are not the director in this reality. You are an infinite being observing the loving projection you chose to be a part of. Love 434. I wish you'd find that deep hidden higher self silently waiting for you to reconnect with it. Once you do, I hope you will teach others to do the same. Please sponsor this channel by visiting b434.com or by going to the description in this video. Thank you. Subscribe and follow. Like and share this video. For merchandise, go to shop.b434.com. Leave your email address at news.b434.com. Visit the website of the artist and the musician I featured here. For more info or contact, visit b434.com and join 434's social media on YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and VK. Talk to each other on Reddit, Discord, and Telegram. All links in the video description.